What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about some Norwegian urban legends. So, I think every country has some kind of crazy stories and myths, but I've never heard about the urban legends from Norway. So today, I want to check out this video about 10 of the scariest Norwegian legends. So let's take a look.
Number 10, we have the demon dog of the Akershus fortress. Did I say
What?
that right? Built in the 1300s, the castle of Akershus was paramount in defending Oslo.
I'm sorry. Hold on, wait a minute. Did she say demon dog? Norway has a demon dog? Okay.
Later, the building became a prison with rumors of cruelty rife. The Nazis occupied the building in World War II also. The fortress is said to be rife with ghosts, including a faceless robe-wearing woman. The most popular legend is that of the demon dog called Malkanisen.
Malkanisen, the demon dog of Oslo. Oh my god.
Malkanisen is a bad omen, and the legend goes that if you see the shaggy stray, you will die a horrible death at some point over the next 3 months. Great. This might be the only dog that I don't fancy stroking.
Oh my god, that's terrifying. It's an omen. If you see this dog, the dog doesn't kill you. The dog doesn't bite your head off or anything. It just means you are going to die in 3 months. Do people in Norway, do people feel like they see this demon dog, in the clouds or the shadows, and they're like, oh my god. I don't know how well known this stuff is in Norway, but that's a pretty terrifying myth. I hope it's a myth.
Usually I'm like, yay, dogs, but no, boo the Deathbringer. Coming in at number 9, we have the Draugen. The Draugen is a figure from Norse mythology that...
The Draugen. These names are so Norwegian. The Draugen, the demon dog.
Many Norwegians still believe in today. The Draugen is a seafaring phantom, the ghost of a person who is said to have died at sea.
Oh my god! This is a nightmare! This is nightmare fuel. Oh my god. Just the fact that it's a person with the weird head. Oh my god. Who's in the ocean too? If you're trying to go swimming in Norway, you gotta worry about this thing?
The Draugen is said to be seen on stormy nights trying to get to shore on a splintered and wrecked boat. The face of a Draugen is said to be fish-like with black eyes and with seaweed hair. It is said that those who sail in a storm are likely to encounter the Draugen, who will draw them in, suck them into a whirlpool and pull them beneath the water.
We don't have urban legends like this in America. In America, we have Bigfoot. You know Bigfoot? It's like a giant gorilla guy. You guys have these terrifying fish people who...
drowning them and taking their vessels. These fishermen and sailors are then said to rise through the water as Draugen themselves.
Oh.
Surrounded by ocean, you can imagine why this legend is so popular and so terrifying in Norway. Bad.
You can get turned into a Draugen, too.
Children, beware of the Doe Draugen at number 8. The Doe Draugen is an urban legend to keep kids in check. Ladies and gentlemen, kids, teens, brace yourself. The Doe Draugen is a toilet spirit.
No. 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 No, 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 no. Norway, you do not have a toilet demon. No! Oh my gosh. What does that even mean? Like somebody's gonna reach up out of the toilet with a... Why is he doing that? Why does he have a brush? What is this?
A a slimy, malevolent monster that hides inside the U-bend, a bit like a cross between Moaning Myrtle and Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh. It seems that the Dodraugen originated in the 1970s. Sometimes the creature is depicted as a serpent, sometimes as a ghost. Whatever the shape...
Come on. Why is this for children? This is scary to me. I'm not a child. Why, Norway? I feel like this is the one I have the biggest issue with. I don't like thinking about stuff coming up out of the toilet that, like this, or a snake. Oh, I hate this.
The Dodraugen is said to prey on bad kids. If a child's been acting out, the Dodraugen is said to drag them away down the sewers.
Oh my god. I would never be bad. If my parents told me that this Dodragon existed, I would never do anything bad.
Yikes. Coming in at number 7, we have dark elves. Norse mythology was all about an elf. Elves have been part of Norwegian folklore for thousands of years, and
really? Because for Norway, I know you guys have trolls. I didn't know you guys had elves. I didn't know that was a Norwegian thing at all.
They come in both benevolent and malevolent forms. Light elves are said to be mini-gods of nature that bring love and light and inspiration. These elves were good craftsmen and said to be kind in so many ways. However, we aren't here to talk about the good stuff because this is scary Norwegian urban legends. These good elves do also have the ability to be harmful to humans if they annoy them. They can easily cause illnesses. However, it is the dark elves you want to watch out for.
Dark elves?
Known as Svartalfheim, these elves are ugly beings that turn to stone in sunlight, so instead they live in dark, gloomy areas.
There's a lot of lore here. Norway has a lot of really interesting stories. So there's light elves, these are the dark elves. And they turn to stone in the sun.
Elves are said to taunt animals, especially horses, making them bolt. They're also said to give humans terrible nightmares. Whether anyone to this day truly believes in them still or not, the dark elves are often blamed for scary dreams.
Interesting. That's fine. Dark elves, that's fine. The Dodragon. I'm still thinking about the Dodragon.
A classic at number 6, we have the Kraken. The Kraken isn't a modern day urban legend, it's an ancient tale from Norse mythology and folklore, but...
The Kraken! I've heard of the Kraken. This is a Norse thing? This is like a Norwegian Norse thing? The Kraken is like famous. It's in video games and movies and pirate movies, and I had no idea this was like a Norway thing. I know about the Kraken, the sea monster.
It is still a popular tale today. The Kraken is a sea monster of giant size and epic proportion that is said to live between the coasts of Norway, Sweden, Iceland, and Greenland. The creature, whose name translates to an unhealthy animal, is said to be a 1.5 miles wide.
Yeah, it's terrifying how these pictures showing how big it is. The stuff that's in the ocean is like extra scary. Thinking about being in the water and these crazy creatures are around you. You can't see them. It's really scary. There's probably horror movies about this. I had no idea that this thing was like supposed to be by Norway.
And would take down even the biggest and most equipped of ships, sucking them into the bottom of the ocean. Like with the legend of the Draugen, the Kraken came from a fear of the ocean. Back in the Viking ages, seafaring was important but dangerous. Days at sea often played tricks on sailors, and the fear of the brutality of nature was better realized when they could give a face to the danger they were in. While the Kraken is an ancient tale, people were convinced of its presence as recently as the early 1900s. These days, I'm not sure if anyone in Norway still believes this legend, but they love talking about it still.
It's fun to talk about. It's like I've also heard of the Loch Ness Monster. That's like an urban legend in America. The Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, Yeti. The Kraken I've heard of. I think a lot of people have heard of it, actually. It's a pretty famous one.
Coming into number 5, this is a very modern one. We have the Haunted Travel Agency. It seems that ghosts need a little break too. I'm guessing that actually haunting's kind of exhausting. Maybe that's
What?
exactly what the ghouls haunting a travel agency in the Norwegian town of Moss wanted.
What?
Unfortunately, the pesky living souls were all scared and called in clairvoyants to help rid them of the wanderlusty spectres.
Some of these Norwegian legends scare me, and some of these just make me laugh. Like the Haunted Travel Agency, like they book travel stuff, like airplanes for ghosts, or what is this?
Marianne Harland Bogdanoff, a skeptic who managed the travel agency, had her beliefs altered when she experienced weird goings-on at her workplace. She said that computers broke down for no reason and that strange smells started wafting through the office.
Okay, this was a normal travel agency for humans, but it was haunted by ghosts.
Staff members would complain of headaches and heard strange noises. IT technicians, electricians, and plumbers came to check out the building but couldn't find the source. Staff never saw the ghost, but they certainly felt it. Eventually, a clairvoyant cleansed the office and the spirits seemed to vanish. In the same town, a woman who worked at the tourism board said that the German language brochures always ended at the top of the pile, despite there being very few German-speaking people in the town.
Interesting. This is one of those urban legends that, like, weird events happen that you can't really explain. Maybe it's coincidence, maybe it's chance, maybe it's something else. And then people just get to talking and they're like, the travel agency is haunted. Okay.
Eventually, it was discovered that a German soldier had worked in the same building during the Nazi occupation of Norway. Coming in at number 4, we have the tortured souls of Lear Psychhouse. The Lear Psychhouse is an old mental asylum in the city Drammen. The imposing...
Oh. You guys had mental asylums in Norway too, huh?
building closed its doors in the 1980s and it's creepy and abandoned today. The building is thought to have tortured patients with experimental drugs like LSD. It is
I feel like any old, rundown mental asylum, people feel like it's haunted. Like, just so much crazy stuff happened there. Like, this isn't, not even just in Norway. It's like anywhere in the world, if there's an old mental asylum, like, people feel like it's haunted and bad luck.
It's also said that some patients were given lobotomies. With a dark past comes a dark energy. A lot of people who have explored the abandoned building are totally convinced that it is haunted. People have seen apparitions, felt cold hands touch their bodies, and even heard screams echoing down empty corridors.
I would never go inside somewhere like that. I don't even necessarily believe that it's haunted or anything. Like, no way.
This is one place that I would not like to visit in Norway. Coming into number 3, we have the legend of Pester. Pester is like the Norwegian Grim Reaper and came around in Norse folklore following the horrifying Black Death. The Black Death killed half the population of Norway, so you can understand why the Norwegians gave the brutal illness, the bringer of death, a human face.
This is the Norwegian face of death, Pesta. I had no idea you guys had your own Grim Reaper, as we like to call it.
Did it so they could better understand it. Pesta is the character they invented, and these days she's considered to be a general death omen like the Grim Reaper. She is characterized as being haggard, ashen-faced, and wearing a red skirt.
Is it like, it looks like an old woman? Because the Grim Reaper is usually like a skeleton wearing a black cloak. This is like more of a person. But it makes sense that Norway would come up with something like this around the Black Death, you know, if such a big part of your population had died. Like, you could see where you want to, like, channel that blame and that bad energy into something, and it's this person.
Carries a broomstick and a rake. The legend from the plague era goes that if you saw Pester with a rake, there was some hope that some of your community would survive, but if she yielded a broom, then there was no hope for any of you. These days, Pester is still talked about as a deathbringer, and a lot like the Grim Reaper, once she's seen, she's unavoidable.
Well, I've never heard of that before. Wow.
Coming into To number 2, we have the headless monk of Trondheim. This is perhaps the most famous ghost in Norway. The
What?
Cathedral of Nidarosdomen is situated in the Norwegian city of Trondheim and dates back to the medieval times. The church was restored in 1814, and somewhere along the way it attracted a ghost.
Headless monk? Is this story well known in Norway? Like, this is actually a thing? The headless monk of Trondheim?
Standard cathedral practice, really. The monk is a menace and is said to want to choke people on sight. In 1924, a bishop's wife saw the monk as she attended a church service at the cathedral. She described the man as very attractive, with a sharp face and piercing blue eyes.
Very attractive? I thought he doesn't have a head. Am I missing something here? What do you mean he's very attractive? Very good looking. He's headless, right?
He placed his hands round the priest's throat and tried to strangle him as he gave a sermon. Members of the choir...
Oh, this was how the headless monk was created. This was... Before that, he was a very good-looking monk. Before his head was cut off, I see.
And churchgoers saw hands around the man's neck, but not all saw the figure. The bishop's wife then realised the monk was bleeding heavily from the neck. Since this sighting, other people have reported seeing the monk, who appears to attempt to strangle people he takes a disliking to.
Oh my
Some have
God.
seen him without a head altogether, which is pretty terrifying. Finally, coming in...
Yeah, sometimes he has a head, sometimes he doesn't have a head. Headless monk of Trondheim. That's funny and terrifying. Okay, and we are finally at number 1. This has been a very entertaining, crazy list. This number 1, Norwegian urban legend. I don't know if it's going to top all that.
To number 1, part urban legend and part deep, deep mystery today, we have the Isdal Woman of Death Valley. Isdalen Valley in Bergen, Norway is colloquially called Death Valley. The location was a popular suicide spot in the medieval times, and also a dangerous place to hike in the fog, meaning a lot of people have accidentally fallen to their deaths. Rumour of the spot being haunted are, of course, rife.
Of course, if there's some kind of spot that's dedicated to suicide. That's horrible, for one thing, and tragic, but of course that's gonna be like, if anywhere is haunted, that's gonna be haunted.
But that isn't the most terrifying thing about this place. In November of 1970, a man walking with his 2 daughters found the badly burned body of a woman. The woman was found lying on her back in a remote area, and only her front was burned. Her back, strangely, wasn't. Also strangely, jewellery had been placed around the woman. Clothes were found nearby, burned and with the labels cut out. Very strange. Stranger still...
That actually happened? So that part doesn't sound like a myth. Somebody actually found a woman in this suicide death valley that was burned. Her whole body, front of her body was burned. Is that actually true?
Police investigating her death found 2 suitcases at Bergen railway station. One contained prescription-free glasses and a fingerprint that matched the woman's. The case also contained a number of different currencies and several wigs. Police later found the unidentified woman stayed at a number of different hotels using 8 fake names and passports. One shoe store owner...
What? Who was this lady? Glasses with no prescription, 8 different passports, briefcases, found burned alive in this Death Valley. What? And this actually happened. Like, by the sound of it, this was a real police investigation. That's what's scary, is this is real.
Remembers her smelling strongly of garlic. Despite all of the strange evidence and speculation that she may be a spy, the police closed the case. What happened to her, who she was, and why she was killed, we don't know, but the people of Norway have a lot to say on the topic. So guys, that would...
What the heck? This was that's crazy. That does deserve to be number 1, because that was the only one that, like, definitely actually happened. These were all pretty disturbing in very different ways. I had no idea. I had no idea this was going on in Norway. Very interesting. A side of Norway I had never heard about. Very entertaining and disturbing. So, but I enjoyed it. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on any of these Norwegian urban legends and myths. If you've ever heard of these, that'd be cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Norway and seeing Norwegian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.